Nucleus Runs are one of the most underrated money-making methods in all of Hypixel Skyblock, and at peak rates can make you over 50 million coins per hour. So today, I'm going to be teaching you everything you could possibly ever need to know, and how to maximize your rates with them. Before we get started though, please do make sure to like and subscribe, as we're pushing for 30k subs and the YouTube rank. Also, join our Discord, and without further ado, let's get on to the guide. Let's talk about the setup we're going to be using in today's video. First of all, of course, you're going to need a drill, a pickaxe, pretty much anything. Anything from a jungle pickaxe or better will be fine. As long as you can insta-mine hardstone, it doesn't really matter what you use here. I would also recommend a set of young dragon armor, as this will increase your walking speed when going around the crystal hollows. Of course, this isn't necessary, it will just speed you up ever so slightly. You're also going to need an ATV with ultimate wise 5 and ether warp, as well as also a grappling hook, and these will help you get around the map really easily. You're also going to need jungle keys, green goblin eggs or any goblin egg, and precursor apparatus, as these will be required to give to NPCs during the Nucleus Runs. You may also need wishing compasses to find structures within the crystal hollows. You'll need a juju, a terminator or any short bow, and it doesn't really matter which, as long as you have decent attack speed, it doesn't really matter. You'll also need a wither cloak as well. We're going to use a set of terror, does not need to be as good as mine, can literally be base terror if you want. I put the hyper reforge to max out my bonus attack speed, as well as also you can use any skeleton master to split if you want. Again, it can be a default one, and this will stop you consuming arrows, so you won't need to refill your arrows when doing this method. Again, just 4 out of 4 default terror will work fine though. In terms of pets, there's 1 pet which you absolutely need and 2 pets which are optional. The pet that you absolutely need is of course the mole pet, as it will give you more loot from the Crystal Nucleus bundle, as well as also better chances of finding items within the mines of the van, which is one part of the Crystal Nucleus run. Additionally, I'd recommend putting a crochet tiger plushie on it to maximize your time when killing Bao. 2 optional pets are first of all the armadillo pet and also the skeleton horse pet. We'll get onto those a little bit later, as they're needed in the jungle temple to do a skip. Bear in mind, they can be any level you want, but the mole pet you're going to want to have level 100. Another big thing with this method is of course the warp to the crystal hollows, and unfortunately this will require you to have MVP+. If you don't have this method is still viable, you just won't be making quite as much money as it will take you longer to do your Nucleus runs. This will decrease your rates by between 30 and 50% depending on how your lobby is laid out. Of course it does depend on how far away the structures are from each other. This is still a viable method, however, even if you don't have the scroll, it can still make you over 30 million coins per hour at peak efficiency. If you haven't got the 750 commissions required to unlock the Crystal Nucleus scroll, you can also do commissions through Nucleus runs as well. You can, if you don't have a boss call in one, you can get commissions for obtaining different crystals. This will mean you can get up to 5 commissions done during every Nucleus run. This means it will take you about 150 runs to get to your 750 commissions. Alternatively, you can also do commissions inside the Dwarven Mines. These are pretty quick. It'll take you about 10 hours of grinding inside the Dwarven Mines to do commissions there if you want to do it there. Now let's do a demonstration of a singular Nucleus run. With the SkyTools mod, you can enable this feature called the Crystal Hollows Waypoints. This will show you the different waypoints that you need around the map, like the Mines of the Van and the Lost Precursor City over there. This can be incredibly useful when doing Nucleus runs. If you did want to find them yourself, however, basically all you need to do is come out of the Nucleus and into the specific area, like for example the Precursor Remnants over here, then use a wishing compass once, and then move 5 to 10 blocks away and use it a second time. And then using NAU, you can add a waypoint just like that. As you can see the wishing target over there. Then you can mine all the way over to that target and you'll find the structure you need over there. It's important that you also have routes set up to get to the locations as quick as you possibly can. For example, in this lobby, if someone has already used bob-bombs to make the most efficient route to different waypoints like King Yolkar over here. You can use bob-bombs or you can mine them out yourself. Again, just make sure that you can insta-mine hardstone, otherwise you're going to be doing this for a long time. Now let's go through a tutorial for each individual crystal. Starting off with the Sapphire Crystal. The Sapphire Crystal is definitely the easiest crystal to get, as it only requires you to give an item to an NPC. Come over to the Lost Precursor City, wherever it is in your lobby, and then talk to Professor Robot and give him the Precursor Apparatus. This will speed you up as you won't have to give him 6 individual items, instead only the 1. Then you can claim the crystal, then swap back to the Crystal Nucleus. For the Amber Crystal, this will be the second easiest. Simply go first to King Yolkar. Bear in mind, these routes that I'm taking will not be the same for you. These will be completely random depending on your lobby. If you can then come and talk to King Yolkar, he's going to want a singular goblin egg. Buy whichever the cheapest one is on the bazaar and then just give it to him. Then go straight back to the Goblin Queen's den. Then you can walk past the guards, then just claim the crystal as so. Going round in order, now let's move on to the Jade Crystal, and for this you're going to want to come to the Mines of the Van. Then you're going to want to take out your metal detector and make sure you have your mole pet equipped for this one. Then with the NEU mod, this will automatically find the solutions of our treasure, which will make this a lot easier. If you want to see my mods, you can check out my mods guide, I'll leave it linked in the top right. You have a chance between getting one of the 4 different tools you need, or some gemstones as well. That is 3 of the 4 done. Once you have all 4 tools, you can then go give them back to their respective tool owners. Round up here and talk to all 4 of them. You don't have to be holding the tools when you're giving them either. Then you can claim the Jade Crystal. So we're back to the Nucleus, and let's go and do the Jungle Temple. And this one is an interesting one. First of all, of course, come to the Jungle Temple structure, and to get around inside the Jungle Temple, you can use the grappling hook. You can't use your AOTV or AOTE here. Then you're going to want to come to the NPC here and give them a jungle key. And then you're going to have to do some parkour. And there is a new escape which you can use in here, however it can be quite inconsistent, but I'll try and show you how to do it anyway. This parkour did recently get shortened, so it isn't too tedious to do anymore. You can also use a slime hat and the wither cloak to stop you taking damage from the arrows further on in the parkour. However, if you do want to skip the parkour, there is, if you come over here to this little hole here, there is some tech you can use to get straight through to the crystal which is over in that room. First of all though, you're going to need 2 pet rules. First of all, on throw fishing hook, equip skeleton horse, except if you already have a skeleton horse equipped, and also the same thing but for the armadillo pet as well. Then get any fishing rod, doesn't matter which, climb it, and then your skeleton horse will spawn in. Then get on it and ride into the wall. Then use a fishing rod again and go into your armadillo. If I can, I'm not skill issued. There we go, on my armadillo. You may want to use a wand of atonement to stop you from suffocating. And then you're going to do the same thing again to get back onto the skeleton horse on the other side. And then you'll glitch through the wall just like that. There you go, the Amethyst Crystal is complete. You can just do the entire parkour if you want to, but this will be a little bit longer. Let's fall back to the Nucleus. The final crystal we're going to need is the Tpaz Crystal, which can be found over at Bao in the Kuvdra Dome. You're going to be wanting a full set of terra armor. You can also use a skeleton master chestplate if you wish as well, to stop you from consuming your arrows. Then use your wither cloak sword. Make sure you also have 100 attack speed. You can also put a Crusher Tiger plushie on your mole pet. Then just use it and you'll kill it insanely quickly. Oh, and we got a battle pet as well. Would you look at that? How convenient. That's the second one I've dropped today. Look, I already dropped a legendary there. Did we get legendary again? Oh, it's only an epic this time. Goddamn. Oh well. Still, W drop. That's another way of making profit with this Nucleus runs. And then we can also claim the Tpaz Crystal. Then walk back to the Nucleus and your run is complete. You can then go and place all the crystals in their respective places and you'll claim the Nucleus loot bundle. Make sure you do have your mole pet equipped for this. Oh damn, we lost 800k. Stunning. If you are half mountain 10, you'll also gain mythical power as well when doing this. If you aren't half mountain 10, you'll gain half mountain XP instead. Either one is very, very nice for progression. Now let's talk about the profits with this method. If we type /RNG, we can find the Crystal Nucleus RNG meter. Of course, the main drop you're going to be wanting to get is the Tpaz alloy, currently worth over 1.5 billion coins. There are some other decent drops as well, like the Jade die, but this is insanely rare, the Quick Claw, the Jade Ruled, and also some smaller, more common drops like the Tpaz Fragment, Gemstone Mixture, and Lapidary Book. There are some other drops in here, but none of them are worth very much, so they won't be really worth much to our profits. You should always have your RNG meter on the Tpaz alloy, as this is the most coins per run that you can get. However, you may want to leave it off until your meter is full in case you get lucky and drop one before your meter is full, because whenever you drop one, the meter will reset. However, this will take 1000 runs to drop guaranteed. This will give you a grand total of 1.5 million coins per run, which already covers any costs of parts. Anything else that you drop is pretty much just a bonus. If you're going at peak efficiency and doing around 15 runs an hour, or a run every 4 minutes, then you can make over 50 million coins per hour. However, if you don't have the travel scroll, you may be a bit slower, at 7 or 8 minutes per run. This will bring your rates down to 25 to 30 million coins per hour. That'll conclude today's guide on Nucleus runs. If you do have any questions, feel free to let me know down in the comments below or in the questions channel in my Discord. Do make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already and you found this video useful, and I'll be live streaming Nucleus runs this weekend with Miracle. So make sure to come and check out my live streams if you haven't already. So come and catch me then, or I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.